Hello, CFI sweethearts. It's another beautiful weekend, and I am coming for you with episode 23 of the Coming For You podcast, aka CFI official podcast. I am your host, Maximiliana. And guess what? Today, I am going to fulfill my promise to you, my CFI sweethearts, as I am hosting my friend Rodney Ricozzo for the second time. Do you remember last time he came here? It was on episode 15 and 16. We were talking about scholarship opportunities, and I told you guys that I will invite Rodney again for another topic, and I was like, okay, maybe it's high time that I bring Rodney again. So today on episode 23, we are going to have a conversation about winter season in abroad and how are we coping. Just for context, I am in Ireland, and my friend Rodney Ricozzo is in the UK. And yeah, Rodney Ricozzo, how are you?
I'm good, and you, Maximiliana?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much.
Great. And thanks for having me again.
Yeah, you remember, I have to keep my promises to the people that I promise. It's important.
Of course, of course. Thank you so much for having me.
So tell me, are you ready for the winter? Maybe that should be the first, the first point. Are you ready?
I hate winter.
So
I don't know. I'm not ready. I'm never gonna be ready for winter. I love summer. Although like we know that back at home in South Africa in Limpopo it can be quite very hot, but that's okay. I love summer, so I don't have to hide myself in the house. I love the out and about. So I'm not ready for it, Max. In short.
okay. I think we are in this together, my friend. I am not ready for it. It's because also I'm from Tanzania, and it's tropical. We are in tropical
Yeah.
region, so we have friendly weather there. I call it friendly because I've been there almost my entire
Yeah.
life, and it has been manageable. When something is manageable, it's you don't need to have a certain budget, to heat your
Exactly.
house and stuff like that when it's cold. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, back at home, winter it's not horrible. It's just it's as you said, like it's manageable. You have a manageable winter, So, so I guess that's the difference.
And so, anyway, so with your family, how are you prepared for that? Because, of course, we are not ready for it. We are not looking forward for it. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's here anyway. We are already in that particular season. So, how are you prepared, you and your family?
Although like there's not much of preparation per se, mainly because last winter we're here. So in terms of layering, because my view of things is that layering is the best way to fight the cold. And and as like when talk about layering, it's like when you wear quite a number of layers of clothes as part of clothes, which of course I think that's the main way of dealing with the winter. And in terms of other things of a house, heating, because I think one of the difficulties here is that in winter the electricity bill goes high because you want to keep warm in the house, you gotta put the heating. So it also becomes that financial demand in that sense. But as I've said, just waiting for it to get a bit bad because now it's just a bit cold. It's still manageable for now, but I know that around December it's gonna be worse. But we've got our coats. They're just waiting to be unearthed from the wardrobes or the lockers. But yeah, but it will not be much of an adjustment because we've got clothes from the last winter period.
Okay, that's fantastic to hear, Rodney. That is to say, we are going to dress for the weather.
Yes.
That is the only way to cope in terms of, okay, how are we going to manage? I love that you are considering layering. Myself, I'm going to do the same. I've been doing that already. And
Mhm.
also, dressing for the weather is important in a sense that if you don't, you might risk your health. Get yourself into cold and get flu and running nose, and just like you are risking your chest. Some people will cough a lot during this particular time of the year. And trust me, even myself now, I'm arming myself with the hot water bottles. Now I'm sleeping with two hot water bottles. They are so long, so
Already.
yeah. So I don't go to bed without those.
it means that by the time now it's mid-December, you'll be having 6 water bottles.
Yeah. So I'm no longer alone in my bed. I have company.
So yeah, so and with layering, Maxi, obviously, the thermal underwears are just key, because once you've got that thermal underwears, you can still wear your stylish clothes on top and still looks good, but yet very, very warm. So
I
I
know.
feel like that's the other interesting thing for me, that you don't have to look weird. You can still look stylish, with those thermal underwears.
Absolutely, yeah, and we are lucky that at least here, the way they build the houses also is very interesting. At least most of the houses here in Europe are very well insulated, meaning that the heat or the cold or some noise can't come in. So once you close
Yeah.
your windows and doors and everything, it means it's okay outside there. Even when somebody speaks from the outside, you can't hear them very well. So it helps to reduce the amount of energy you can use. If the house is very well insulated, it means amount of cost you are going to pay for electricity is going to be low. You can turn on your heater maybe for 2 hours, and then yeah, you switch it off, and then the heat will stay inside for
Inside,
quite
yeah.
a while. So that's another advantage for that matter as well.
Yeah, Max, I used to wonder, because like some of the houses, you find that when you are come from outside the front door, into the living room, you find that there is a door that you open, and immediately there's a second door that you have to open again. I was like, for what? Why this drama? But then when now it's cold, you get to understand that, maybe sometimes they realize that maybe if it's just one door, some of the cold will be able to creep in, but if you have a second door immediately, it just blocks that. So yes, I think like the way they're designed, as you have said, it also helps to keep it, a bit warm inside, even before you use your heaters.
Yeah, that's it. So, are you also prepared for some other winter activities? Because I love running and jogging, and I'm so worried that that might be affected by the weather because it's going to be wet. And now that I live in Galway, it can be even more wet. And I'm a little bit worried that my schedules and my lifestyle, is going to be a little bit impacted. How are you prepared to do your activities during winter?
All right. So for me, because I also run, which is the main activity that I actually do. So I have got my beanie hat that has a light which I can just use. It's charged like a USB when you're running around, running during the winter period, because it also gets dark early. So you're able to use that light from that beanie hat, for projection. And also there are some running gears which are designed for the winter period. I have got some gloves which are designed for running, during the winter period, which like they've got that thermal thing, so they are quite warm. And also there are also some shirts or some, yeah, t-shirts sort of, which are just long sleeve designed for that. So it becomes even easier for that. And in terms of lighting, because of reflection, there's also some lights that they sell, which at least you are able to see where your rifle is running in a dark place, and they are not street lights. So there is a whole lot of gear, and of which I don't think you should be much worried. If you can just get yourself, some of those, then you'll be able to continue with your running, which should be not a problem, Maxine. Even though like it gets dark early, so at least with those lights and other things and those warm running gear, you'll be able to make those few kilometers, and then back home. And then at the end of the day, your what do we call it? Your routine is not widely disrupted.
I quite agree. Yeah, I'm planning to also get myself a torch as well because,
Yeah.
during winter, the darkness comes very early. So, but even though I feel that's very complicated, I'm planning to be flexible enough to start running in the morning, rather than running in the evening where the darkness is just going to hinder me. Also, I'm planning to be flexible enough to skip running whether I see the weather is not conducive, whether if there is going to be a storm or some heavy rain. I'm like, no, I will choose to do yoga and inside, and to avoid doing that every day just because I can. I just have to give myself that grace to be flexible enough to skip it when I must. But
Yes.
anyway, do you have any particular food you eat during this particular time of the year, Rodney? Because also because of the season, there are some type of food that are available during winter and stuff like. Do you have any particular food that you prefer to eat during winter?
Being an African child from the African soil, I don't have any specific, because I grew up in an environment wherein whether it's summer, like days, it's not like now you change the food that you eat, it's just the same thing. So there isn't really, just continue with doing the same. Although I'm not a tea person, but it is during winter when I think I get to drink quite a lot of tea. But apart from that, I don't have specific food. I've just been eating same food throughout the year.
You and I both, Rodney. You and I both. I still eat my African food, to be honest. The only thing is just the cooking style. That's where I try to change a little bit. For example, if I like boiling butternut and eat it normally, I now boil it and I grind it to be like mix it with other vegetables to make a vegetable soup for me to be able
Hmm.
to warm my stomach even more better. And as you said, I also take much of tea during winter. I can't even count the number of times I make myself a cup of tea. So,
Yeah, yeah, of course. So yeah, so there won't be much changes. And one of the things that I just don't like in the morning when I have to prepare for work, it's getting the ice off the windscreen of the car. Oh no, yeah, it's just a whole lot of work. And at least here it does not snow much compared to the the northern part of England. But you are going just the car will just be freezing, and so yeah, it's quite a lot of logistics to deal with in the morning.
and some people say when you put hot water, the glass will break. Is that true?
Apparently. So I think last year the first I think I did use some warm water and things, and then I was informed that, oh no, apparently it's not safe. So but I started using cold water, but it is still the same. The ice just still melts quickly. So it's not
Okay.
much of a difference. But yeah, I've heard of the hot water thing. I was like, okay, you know what? Let me not continue with this, because I don't want to be the one to experience the windscreen breaking.
During winter, it sometimes it can be stormy, and so the road safety can be a little tricky, so you need to be like
Yeah.
careful in the road, so that you are able to deal with such issues, and also to just
Mhm.
be closer to our information centers in terms of where you get your information, because it's important to be alert and to know if there is a storm coming. You have to be able to have that information in hand so that you keep yourself safe.
That is true, yeah. And obviously, because when it's this cold here, even the roads that's gonna be icy. So if you're not careful, your car maybe it gets slippery. So yeah, so you are right. Road safety issues, they need to be considered quite a lot. Because I know of a colleague who was driving uphill, and it was snowy and icy that day, and her car just rolled back and hit another car. So,
Wow.
so yeah, so one needs to know the strategies of how to to do these things. So it's quite tricky.
Wow, yeah, okay. So I think, how is temperature there during winter? Does it reach to up to negative? Snow and frost, because last winter, so far I've seen myself two winters already. This is going to be my third winter here in Ireland. So the first winter was a little bit okay. The second winter was like so frosty and snowy, like I could literally see snow out there. So I'm not sure this time around whether it's going to be the same or something. So how is it there in the UK?
So this is because I'm in the southwest of England, so it gets frosty, but with snow, not likely where I am, because I'm at the center. But I've heard that there are other parts of Devon in the north part of it, wherein they get some snow, quite a huge layer. But here it's mainly frost. So yeah, but it does snow, just light snow, not that convincingly. So yeah, but it can be very, very cold. Yeah.
Okay, Rodney, I think it has been wonderful to chat again about at least this particular topic, because it's been
It
saying,
is.
oh, I'm not ready for winter. And then, yeah, here it is. And I'm inside in my sitting room, but I'm with a big jacket. And, that's life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think maybe the last thing that I can say is that it's also important to have waterproof boots.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know in Ireland, you guys, it's rain every 5 minutes, so the waterproof boots are quite important. But generally, it's because even if when it's snowing, that coldness. So at least it's good to avoid the water getting into one's shoes. So yeah, waterproof boots are the way to go.
Yeah, thank you, Rodney, for that tip. So that is the end of our episode 23 of the Coming For You podcast. I hope you CFI sweethearts are going to get something out of this episode. And thank you so, so, so much, Rodney, for agreeing to come to join us on this episode again. And should I promise again that I'll bring you again?
You must make promises that you can keep.
I think I hope so. I hope I will be able to keep this promise to my CFI sweetheart. So I might bring Rodney again another time when it suits us. So thank you so much and bye bye for now. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and please follow us on other social media platforms. We are on TikTok. You can just search CFI official podcast, and also on Instagram you can search CFI official podcast. And yeah, bye bye for now. See you next time. Ciao.
Bye.